You ever notice how a gun doesn't disappear all at once? Nobody kicks the door open. Nobody warns you. One day it sat in the case, rode in holsters, showed up in pawn shops with dust on the tag. Then it was just gone. And the stupid part is, most people only cared after the price jumped, or the replacement felt like a cheaper answer to a better question. This isn't a sad little discontinued gun list. This is about pistols people ignored until the market punished them for it. Some vanished because buyers got distracted. Some got buried by newer trends. Some were ugly, weird, badly timed, or too honest for their own damn good. Not every dead gun deserves flowers. Plenty earned the grave. But these 5 left a hole, and the last one still makes me wonder what companies stopped building right. The Colt Mustang XSP is the gun everybody thought they had time to buy. That was the trap. For a while, it sat in cases like no big deal. Pocket point 3.8. Oh, Colt name. Modern grip. Better checkering, ambi safety. A cleaner little update on the old Mustang idea. Not some plastic hype beast. Not some miracle carry gun. Just Colt trying to stay in a lane it used to understand. And I walked past it more than once, told myself, yeah, I'll grab one later. And then later showed up, and the clean ones were already sitting in somebody else's safe. That is where this gets irritating. The Mustang XSP didn't vanish because it was garbage. It vanished because the carry market got loud and impatient. Higher capacity .380s came in. Micro 9s started bullying everything smaller. Polymer pocket guns got cheaper, lighter, easier to explain at the counter. Colt was still selling yesterday's carry idea, while everyone was chasing tomorrow's. Was the Mustang perfect? No. Limited capacity, manual safety, small gun, old school attitude, easy to ignore next to the newer stuff. But that's why it matters. It filled a weird little Colt-sized hole nobody really replaced. Now, when one pops up clean, it doesn't feel like casual shopping. It feels like you showed up late and the room already got picked over. That's the quiet punishment for ignoring a gun while it still sat there. The Smith & Wesson SD9 VE was gone from the wall, and that empty spot bothered me more than the pistol ever did. I was west of Fort Worth, hunting a budget 9mm for a new shooter, not a flex gun. Not some optic-ready toy. Just a real pistol a regular guy could buy, load, and keep by the bed without torching his paycheck. Clerk points at a blank space and says, used to keep the SD9 VE right there. That ugly two-toned thing. Stainless slide, black frame, rough trigger, no cool factor. Everybody mocked it. I did too. It was the gun people bought when M&P money wasn't there yet. Then the joke stopped being funny, because the joke was missing. The old VE lane got pushed aside for cleaner updates, better triggers, newer branding. Fine. The SD9 2.0 exists. But that exact cheap, simple, factory new option disappeared, and now the guy who actually needs it is digging through used bins. That's why it matters. You didn't know it was gone because nobody respected it enough to watch it leave. Bad gun? Maybe not. Maybe shooters got too proud to admit cheap. And boring still had a job. I still don't love it. I just hate how much that empty spot mattered. What came after gets stranger. Ruger didn't just drop a pistol. It walked away from its first real modern 9mm bet. They quit these years ago. That's what the old guy said outside Midland when he pulled a full-size Ruger SR9 from his range bag and dropped it into my hand like evidence. Not a sales pitch. Not nostalgia. Just a pistol Ruger walked away from before most shooters understood what it meant. The SR9 didn't feel dead. That annoyed me. Thin double stack grip, decent capacity, low bore axis, ambi safety. Just enough modern sense to make the old Ruger jokes feel lazy. Yeah. The trigger reputation followed it around like a bad smell. It had that awkward early striker feel like Ruger was learning in public. But that's the point. This was Ruger trying to stop being the old man company. Then the SR line got shoved aside for cleaner lanes. American Pistol, Security 9, easier sales pitches, safer choices. By the time shooters started giving Ruger real credit in modern 9mm, the SR9 was already treated like a receipt nobody kept. People waited for Ruger to get serious and missed the gun that proved they already had. Used ones still show up. Big deal. That isn't the same as factory momentum, easy confidence, parts, mags, support. Once the company acts like a chapter never mattered, everybody holds the gun differently. Maybe the SR9 wasn't the future, but it was proof Ruger tried to build one before everybody forgot it existed. A full-size SIG Sauer P227 on a belt in hill country looks wrong now. Too big, too heavy, too honest for the way people talk about carry guns. My buddy still carries his every day. First time I noticed it, I almost laughed. He caught my face and looked at me like I was the idiot. Maybe I was. The P227 wasn't just another big .45 SIG. It was a double-stack DA/SA fighting pistol from that last window when weight still meant control. A hammer still meant discipline. And a serious gun didn't have to feel like a phone case with sights. 10+1 standard. More with the right mags. Real SIG bulk. Real commitment. And yeah, that's the flaw too. The P227 asks something from you. Belt, holster, training, patience. Lazy carry culture hated that before it admitted it. Then the market got lighter, flatter, easier. SIG didn't just lose one model when the P227 went away. A whole category got shoved into the dark. Well, now, the guys who waited aren't shopping. They're watching clean ones get held tighter, mags feel less endless, parts feel less casual, and owners refuse to let go. Maybe the P227 was too much for the modern market. I'm just not sure the modern market got tougher after walking away from guns like this. And what sits above it bothers me worse, because that one got ignored while it was solving a problem everybody kept pretending they had. Honestly, the Beretta PX4 Storm is not officially dead. That is what makes this one dangerous. Rumors keep saying Beretta has stopped making certain PX4 Storm models. Maybe that is true for some versions. Maybe it is dealer noise, but Beretta's own site still lists the PX4 as available. And it is not marked Legacy like the guns they already buried. That is the ugly middle ground. Not gone enough for people to panic. Not pushed hard enough for people to feel safe. At a Texas gun show, I watched a clean, full-size PX4 sit there, while guys walked past it like it already belonged to yesterday. One man picked it up, worked the slide, nodded, then his buddy said, "Beretta doesn't push these like they used to." He put it down. That line felt worse than a discontinuation notice, because the PX4 was already solving problems shooters keep whining about. Softer recoil, real control, DA/SA safety, polymer carry practicality. A gun that felt weird because it was built different, not because it was wrong. But Beretta has newer pistols to push now, newer tech, cleaner features, easier marketing. Fine. That is business. Just don't act shocked if the PX4 gets harder to find after everybody spent years ignoring the warning light. The PX4 did not fail the market. The market got trained to ignore answers that look strange. And the bonus gun is what happens when everybody realizes too late that the strange answer was actually the blueprint. The Browning High Power is the one that makes every they brought it back argument feel cheap. At that same safe cleaning session, one came out of the safe and the room changed. Not an FN reboot, not a clone with cleaner sights and a nicer trigger. A Browning marked, Belgian-made high power, the kind whose factory story stretched across decades and then went cold around 2017, 2018. That weight still says something. The single action trigger, the old grip, the roll mark. It feels less like holding a pistol and more like shaking hands with the last real piece of that line. And yeah, the concept survived. FN made a modern high power. Other companies copied the shape. Some of them shoot better. Fine. That still does not bring back the Browning chapter. That's what owners lost. Not a silhouette. Not a magazine pattern. The continuous factory lineage. The specific gun that carried that name into the modern era until it didn't. Now clean originals feel different. Condition matters more. Markings matter more. Every good one that disappears into a safe makes the next one less casual. The high power didn't leave like a failure. It left like a door closing while everybody kept arguing about the hallway. That's the part that bothers me. Not that guns disappear. Guns disappear every year. Bad ones, boring ones, overpriced ones, stuff nobody misses. But these 5 didn't just leave shelves. They left questions. Why did the replacement feel less solid? Why did used prices suddenly get stupid? Why did everyone act shocked after ignoring them for years? And that bonus gun hanging over the whole list proves the ugly part. Sometimes a pistol becomes more respected after it's gone. Because the market finally runs out of excuses, drop the one you missed too late. The pawn shop regret. The trade you still think about. The gun counter. They don't make that anymore, gut punch. I'm Steve. And another good one is probably disappearing right now.